Okay, so you know how everyone's always talking about how important it is to put out good content all the time. But then like actually doing that without losing your mind, that's kind of a whole other story,
Yeah, it
right?
really is.
Like finding that balance between quality and just like how often you're actually putting stuff out there is something I think every content creator struggles with.
Totally. And I think that's why this article from blogwidow.com that just came out called How to Balance Bug Content Quality with Posting Frequency. It's such a timely piece.
It is. It really gets right to the heart of that struggle.
And it goes beyond just saying you have to post a lot or your content needs to be amazing. It's about finding that sweet spot where both are happening without burning yourself out.
That's what we're digging into today, some real tactics to figure out where that sweet spot is for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the first thing blogwidow.com talks about is setting a content schedule that actually works for you. And like, I know it sounds basic, but I feel like that's where it all starts going wrong.
Oh, yeah, that initial excitement. You want to do everything you want to post every day, and then reality hits.
Yeah, and then you're putting out rushed stuff that you're not even proud of.
Exactly. And the article's really smart about saying, like, hey, don't overcommit right from the get-go. Figure out what you can actually manage, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, even monthly, and stick to that.
Yeah, because it's that consistency that really builds trust with your
It
audience.
does. They start to know what to expect from you, and it makes them way more likely to stick around.
And it's not just about them, having a schedule that's doable. It gives you the time and space to actually create something worthwhile.
100%. It's about being intentional, not just reactive.
Okay, so then blogwidow.com talks about focusing on what they call high impact topics. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, because it's not just about churning out content, right? It's about making sure that content actually resonates.
Right, it's like being strategic with what you choose to write about.
Exactly. And the article really stresses figuring out what your audience is struggling with, what questions they have, and then like laser focusing on those things.
It makes so much more sense than just trying to cover everything.
It does. And one of the points the article makes that I thought was really smart is that one really good post on something super relevant to your audience that's going to have a way bigger impact than like and then okay posts on random things.
Yeah, it's about depth over breadth.
And the cool thing is, even if you're not posting as often, if you're putting out that really valuable content, people are going to notice and they're going to come back for more.
All right, so we've got a realistic schedule and we're laser focused on the right topics. What else does blogwidow.com recommend?
Well, this next one is all about working smarter, not harder.
I'm always down for that.
It's repurposing your existing content.
Okay, so like giving things a new life. Tell me more.
Yeah, so the article gives some great examples. Like, say you've got some older blog posts that are still relevant, but maybe need a little updating.
Like freshening them up with new info?
Exactly. Or maybe you've got a few different posts on kind of the same theme. You could combine them into an ebook or
That's a
something.
great idea. And you could even turn those blog posts into something totally different, like a podcast episode or a video.
Yeah, the point is you've already done the work, the research, the writing. Now it's about getting more mileage out of it and reaching new people.
And it keeps things feeling fresh without you constantly having to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
Okay, this next one is something I definitely need to get better at. It's batch content creation.
Ah, yes, the art of getting into a flow.
I feel like I'm always starting and stopping, which is not efficient at all.
Yeah, so batching is all about setting aside a chunk of time and just writing multiple posts all at once.
So like a writing marathon instead of just little sprints here and there.
Exactly. And it's so much better for staying focused and getting in the zone. And then afterwards, you can set aside separate time for editing and polishing.
So you've got like a backlog of ready to go content, which means even if life gets crazy, you're not scrambling at the last minute.
And that means the quality stays high.
Such a good idea. I need to try that. Now, blogwidow.com also talks about outsourcing, and I know that can feel kind of intimidating, especially if you're just starting out.
It can, but the article makes a good point about how trying to do everything yourself is a recipe for burnout.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
And when you're burnt out, the quality of your work suffers.
Big time.
So outsourcing doesn't have to mean handing over your whole blog. It could just mean getting help with the things that take up a lot of your time and energy, but maybe aren't your zone of genius.
So like the editing, the graphic design, the research, stuff like that.
Exactly. And there's so many talented people you can find online these days on platforms like Fiverr or Freelancer.
It's all about freeing up your time and mental space so you can focus on the things that only you can do.
And it means you can maintain that high quality without sacrificing your sanity.
I like the sound of that. Now, I know you're a big believer in using analytics to make sure you're on the right track.
Oh, absolutely. And blogwidow.com is right there with us on that one.
It's not just about posting and hoping for the best, right? You got to look at the data.
Google Analytics is a great place to start. And then your social media platforms also have a ton of insights.
So, like, how many people are actually seeing your stuff? How much of it they're reading if they're sharing it, things like that.
Yeah, and that tells you so much about what's resonating, what maybe needs tweaking, and even like the best time to post.
So you're not just guessing, you're making decisions based on real information.
Exactly. And over time, you start to get a really clear picture of what works for your specific audience and what doesn't.
Okay. And finally, blogwidow.com makes this really important point about how none of these strategies matter if you're sacrificing quality.
It's like the golden rule, right? Quality over quantity every time.
Yeah, because you can post every day, but if it's all just fluff, people are going to see right through it.
They will. And the article's really clear about saying it's better to post less often and have those posts be truly amazing than to post all the time with just okay content.
Because it's that high quality stuff that builds a loyal audience and establishes you as an expert.
Exactly. It's the foundation of everything.
So basically what we're taking away from blogwidow.com's insights is this. Set a realistic schedule for yourself. Focus on the topics your audience really cares about. Repurpose your content whenever you can. Try batch creating to get in the zone. Outsource the stuff that's dragging you down. Use analytics to stay on track and never, ever sacrifice quality.
And remember, it's all about finding that balance that works for you, your life, and your audience.
So I'm curious, thinking about everything we've talked about, what's one small change you could make this week to either step up your content game or just make things feel a little more manageable? Maybe it's picking one topic that you know would really resonate with your audience and really digging into it, or maybe it's just blocking out an hour for some focused writing time. What's one thing you're going to try?
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of balancing quality and quantity in your content creation.
Absolutely. And until next time, keep creating, keep learning, and keep finding that sweet spot. I'll see you next time.